We will continue with the exciting sessions of the conference. I hope that you have enjoyed so far of what conference had so far offered to you. At this lunch, we will have two sessions, one shorter and one longer one. Originally, we were supposed to have MP Raquel Danko, who was the co-chair of the Indo Committee, Industry and Technology Committee of the House of Commons, and a critic for industry from official opposition. Unfortunately, she is very sick. She got very bad cold and could not attend the conference. But the good news is that we have a very good replacement, MP Michael Guglielmin, a member of parliament from Vaughan Woodbridge, Ontario, who is a member of Standing Committee on Industry and Technology, Indo Committee, is here with us for short remarks. He represents industry, actually. He has 20 years of experience as executive member of different industries, especially steel industry, which is very important these days. And he kindly accepted to step up for MP Danko and to speak to us. We are very grateful. As you know, CSPC is a non-partisan neutral forum, and we want to be inclusive for all voices, and MP Guglielmin represents the Conservative Caucus in the House of Commons, and we are fortunate to have him with us. Mr. Guglielmin, please.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction and that amazing pronunciation of my last name. My family is from northern Italy, and you could imagine just by reading it on the board how difficult it was for my grade school teachers to pronounce Guglielmin. So thank you very much for that. Very much appreciated. Whoever gave me that last name never thought I would enter into politics. So good afternoon, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here with you. And I know our Shadow Minister, MP Raquel Danko, really would have loved to be here. But as mentioned, unfortunately, she's a little under the weather. So thank you to the Canadian Science Policy Centre for bringing us together, and to the founder and CEO, President Mehrdad Harari, for the invitation, for his leadership, and our newfound friendship. And I want to recognize the CSPC, their board and staff, because anyone in this room who's put together even the smallest meeting knows how difficult that could be. So to put together a national conference at such scale is really no small feat. So congratulations to all of you. The CSPC, it fills a very special role in Canada. So you create a place where people who might not usually sit in the same room can come together. Scientists, entrepreneurs, industry, community leaders, elected officials, and senior public servants. You give us the space to think about the future of the country in a serious way, and to do so together. I spent over 20 years in the steel industry, as mentioned, and I was the Executive Vice President of Operations for a steel service center, which is nestled right into the steel supply chain. And the reason why I wanted to get involved in politics was to bring my business and industry experience to public policy. So for far too long in our country, our approach to public policy has been reactive. We need to be proactive. We must be innovative if we're going to meet the challenges of tomorrow. Now, the theme of this year's conference, Towards a Resilient Future for Canada, Mobilizing Science, Knowledge, and Innovation, could not be more timely, given the changing geopolitical climate we all face today and the uncertainties of tomorrow. Now, it's certainly not government that's going to push us forward and navigate the challenges we face. Everyone in this room plays a part in that effort. You're the people who are building companies, doing the research in labs, turning ideas into products, writing policy briefs, teaching students, and running institutions. You see every single day how quickly the world is changing and how high the stakes have actually become. We're truly at a pivotal moment in history. Now, around the world, countries are rethinking what resilience really means. They are investing heavily in their scientific base, securing critical technologies, and rebuilding industrial and supply chain capacity. They're asking hard questions about how to best protect sovereignty, how to keep people safe, how to remain competitive in a world that's moving faster than ever. Here at home, Canadians also feel that pressure. People want to know that Canada is ready, not reactive. They want to know that we're serious about turning our knowledge into real strength. So today I'd like to spend a few moments reflecting on three things. The first, what resilience means in Canada in this global context. The second, how we can better mobilize our innovation ecosystem, talent, and investment. And third, the kind of governance and accountability that Canadians expect from those of us trusted with advancing the interests of the state. I approach these questions not only as the Member of Parliament who sits on the Standing Committee from Industry and Technology, but also as someone who deeply values the role of science, evidence, and innovation in public life. So innovation now sits at the heart of our economic and national security. The race for leadership in areas like artificial intelligence, advanced manufacturing, quantum technologies, critical minerals, biotechnology, and secure communications has become a defining feature of international politics. Countries that can develop, deploy, and scale these technologies, they're the ones who set the rules. They shape the standards. They attract capital and talent. They build the supply chains that other countries rely on. So Canada has a choice. We can be a country that mainly consumes technology developed elsewhere and adapts as best we can, or we can be a country that helps design the future and builds the tools that we need. I think Canadians expect us to aim for the latter. Now, that is where organizations like CSPC and the institutions represented in this room have become essential. We remind us that resilience is not just about having resources in reserve, it is about being ready to adapt, to learn, to collaborate, and to turn knowledge into action. If we want to mobilize science, knowledge, and innovation in a way that truly strengthens resilience, we need to do a few things very well. First, connect our innovative ecosystem so that ideas move faster and further. Second, make public policy more coherent, predictable, and accountable. Third, focus investment on capabilities that matter for long-term prosperity and security. And fourth, equip Canadians with the skills and opportunities needed to contribute. These are national goals that should rise above party lines. Now let me turn to the system itself, because Canada has a lot going for it. We have respected universities and colleges. We have world-class researchers. We have innovators starting globally competitive companies. We have strong public research institutions and dedicated public servants. We invest significant public dollars in science and innovation. In other words, the ingredients are there. Yet often we hear that the system doesn't work as smoothly as it should. I hear this at industry committee meetings and with stakeholders that I meet with across the country. It can be hard for companies and researchers to find the right door and stay focused on their work. Administrative requirements can pile up. Excellent ideas sometimes stall before they're able to reach market. Now, if we're serious about resilience, we need an innovation system that feels less like a maze and more like a runway. A system that is easier to navigate, that focuses on outcomes for Canadians, and that allows science and evidence to move quickly into policy. That does not require more complexity. It requires clarity. Clear goals, clear roles, and clear measurements. Canadians also expect that every tax dollar invested in research and innovation is put to work effectively. They want to see outcomes. They want to see better jobs, stronger communities, new products and service, and enhanced national capabilities. Of course, you can always have the best programs on paper, but nothing happens without people. Canada's greatest asset is our human capital. The researchers, engineers, technicians, trade people, entrepreneurs, and public servants who bring these ideas to life. We want to mobilize science and innovation, and we'll need to make it easier for people to move, grow, and contribute. That means looking at talent in a broad way. Yes, we need leading scientists and top-tier researcher teams, but we also need welders, machinists, coders, operators, project managers, and regulatory experts. The people who run the machines, maintain our infrastructure, and translate prototypes into working systems are every bit as vital as the people who publish the papers. We should be quicker at recognizing skills, both for Canadians and newcomers. We should reduce barriers that prevent qualified people from working in their fields. We should improve mobility of credentials across provinces, and we should give students and early career researchers a clearer sense of the opportunities that exist in Canadian industry and public service, not only abroad. Strengthening the full spectrum of talent is not just an economic necessity. It is also part of building public trust, because Canadians want to see that the opportunities created by innovation are open and accessible. Now, let me offer a brief example of what advanced manufacturing and innovative leadership looks like in practice. Earlier this year, I visited the new LGC TRC facility, which is a state-of-the-art facility in the Vaughan area. From the outside, it looks like many modern industrial buildings across our region, clean, efficient, and unassuming. But inside it represents one of the most sophisticated research and manufacturing environments in the country. In one part of the facility, chemists and researchers are developing advanced reference materials that support everything from pharmaceutical development to environmental testing, products that scientists around the world rely on every single day. Now, just steps away, you can find engineers and technicians working on precision manufacturing lines, integrating automation, digital monitoring, and stringent quality systems that ensure consistency at a global standard. And now, what truly shocked me, coming from years of experience in the steel industry and industrial manufacturing, it wasn't just the technology of the equipment. It was the ecosystem that made it possible. World-class research, strong industrial capability, skilled trades and scientific talent, a culture of continuous improvement, and an openness to innovate, not tomorrow, but today. LGC TRC's investment in Vaughan is a reminder that Canadian ingenuity doesn't just keep pace with global expectations, it can also set the standard. That brings me to investment. Canada has been wrestling for years with relatively low private sector investment in R&D compared with some of our peers. We have very strong public research institutions, yet we still struggle to consistently translate ideas into scaled-up companies and productivity gains. The problem here in Canada is definitely not a shortage of ideas. It's whether the environment encourages people to take risks, invest, and stay here as they continue to grow. So if we want a resilient innovation economy, we need a business environment that is predictable, competitive, and attractive to long-term capital. Regulation that is efficient and timely without sacrificing safety or standards. Tax and incentive structures that reward innovation and investment. Procurement that gives Canadian companies a fair chance to prove and scale their technologies. We need policy stability so that institutions and businesses can plan beyond their next budget cycle. When an investor believes that the rules are clear and fairly applied, they will commit. When innovators see a pathway for attracting new customers here, they will build here. When that happens, Canada's innovation capacity grows in a very durable way. Let's think for a moment about defense and security, because they're increasingly intertwined with innovation. Many of the technologies that will shape the future of our economy are also vital to national defense and to the security of our allies. Now, historically, defense research has driven breakthrough in fields like aerospace. Today, the lines between civilian and defense technologies are even more blurred. AI, autonomous systems, and secure networks matter in both of these domains. Canada has a real opportunity here if we can better link defense need with our innovative capacity. That means closer collaboration between laboratories, industry, and government. It means procurement processes that allow Canadian companies to test, adapt, and scale solutions in partnership with our armed forces and our allies. It means recognizing that investment in defense-related infrastructure also supports civilian research and economic activity. You see this, for example, in the north. Corridors, ports, and testing facilities in places such as Churchill, Manitoba, serve strategic purposes for security and sovereignty, while at the same time, they can be hubs for research, climate observation, transportation innovation, and community development. These are not separate worlds. They reinforce one another. Finally, resilience requires trust, and in turn, trust depends on good governance. Canadians are very generous in their support for public research and innovation. In return, they expect transparency, efficiency, and value for money. They want to know that programs are coordinated, that decisions are based on evidence, and that projects deliver results, not just press releases. Clear objectives, plain language legislation, and performance-based evaluation. All of these help ensure that funding flows to projects that deliver real benefits. Removing duplication and overlap frees up both resources and time. Better coordination across departments reduces frustration for researchers and for companies. As a parliamentarian, I see this as part of my job, to ask questions, to follow the money, and ensure that programs designed to support innovation actually work on the ground. Good intentions have to be matched by good design. Friends, our current moment should serve as a wake-up call for all of us. Canada has everything it needs to succeed in a world that is changing so quickly. We have top-tier researchers and institutions. We have entrepreneurs who want to build globally competitive companies right here at home. What we need is a renewed commitment to working together. We need stronger links between policymakers and innovators, labs and factory floors, classrooms and communities. We must give Canadians the opportunity to dream. If we align our science with our strategy, our innovation with our national purpose, and our collective efforts with the results Canadians deserve, then we will not simply navigate this period of transformation, we will be able to lead it. Thank you very much.